Today is Tuesday, September 17th, 2024, and the time is 6:00 p.m. I'd like to call the regular village board meeting to order. Myself, Mike Capper, is present.
Caleb Garn,
Donnie Kerman present.
Chris Dubeck,
Brandon Carl present.
Chris Marino present.
And I believe Ryan Seacard will be joining us by Zoom. There he is. And Ryan Seacard by Zoom. We stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
Public for which it stands,
under God,
and God,
with liberty and justice
is this for all.
Ladies, any public comment?
Oh, here I am.
Say your name and your address and.
I'm Margie Metzdorf and I live at 798 Plum Tree Lane, right here in Somerset. And I've got two short comments. One of them has to do with item 6D, Roman numeral 2, about hometown hero flags. I got a call from Robert Treloff shortly before I came telling me he can't make it to the meeting, but he wants everybody to know he greatly encourages us to follow through with whatever that proposal is. And my other thought is, under new business, 7B, it talks about an ordinance amendment and then a section number. And us dumb bunnies sitting in the audience don't have a clue what you're talking about when you discuss those things. So if you could give us a couple brief words explaining what that's all about, that would help.
Yeah, I think Deidre can put it up on the screen for that.
Yep.
we
Perfect.
could contribute so much more.
Perfect.
You'd be scared what we could contribute.
Approval of agenda.
Caleb Garn make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
Brandon Carl second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
It's the announcement.
That is the item right behind your agenda in your packet. Caleb and Ryan asked for that to be included.
Where is
It's in
it?
regards to our former chief
Oh,
benefit for Mr. Sabatka.
There is a benefit for former chief and officer, Thomas or TJ Servatka. It's Thursday, October 24th from 4 to 8 p.m. at General Sam's. So there's food, drinks, gun raffle, silent auction, and more. Servatka, 47-year-old husband, father, and retired law enforcement officer of 20 years, was first diagnosed with stage 3 GE junction cancer in September of 23. A surgery soon followed in December of 23 to remove the cancer, which was successful, but he later found that the cancer had already spread to the liver in March of 24, which is stage 4, and recently in July of 24 to both lungs as well. The prognosis is terminal. Again, it's October 24th, 4 to 8 p.m. at General Sam's.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
First and second, any further discussion?
Just a discussion on the consent agenda. This is all items that have been discussed and or approved by the committees. And if there was any question by the board, they could take them out of the consent agenda, but it's in order to move the process forward a little faster in the meetings. It's approval of purchase of 6 Motorola radios, approval of a sewer rate study, the hometown hero flag, the stormwater regional pond task order, and street use permit for homecoming parade and election worker pay rate approval.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. New business, discussion possible approval, resolution 2024 -05, requesting application for exemption from the county library tax.
Don't we do this every year?
This is an annual
Yep.
resolution.
Yeah. make a motion to approve the resolution as presented for 2024-2025.
Second.
First and second, further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion possible approval, schedule village board work session regarding village park upgrades and items previously recommended for parks for budgeting purposes.
Mr. Chairman, I think you skipped over
Oop,
B.
I did, I already marked that one. Discussion possible approval ordinance amendment, section 11-2-13.
Where did this come from?
I proposed this. I saw in the news that Richmond passed a very similar ordinance. So I asked some of our head election officials, and then Chris Duback and myself both worked on this. Just so we have some protections in place for some of our elections officials, because like I said, I saw in Richmond had passed it. We just want to make sure we have some teeth, and have some penalties for people, who are coming down and trying to cause a ruckus.
Just, there's been a number of municipalities that have, not this exact wording, but very close. City of Hudson, Town of Hudson, Baldwin, there's a number that are doing it in preparation for the election. Is it foolproof? Is it subject to First Amendment challenge?
Absolutely.
Probably, but there's been instances where this could be a good tool to try to dissuade people from harassing people. Not just at the polls, but, you know, they go to the football game. And people are yelling at them, so.
I have one question though. It says harassment of election officials via social media. Any individual using social media, organize or engage in action, how do you police this? You know, any individual using social media to organize or engage in actions that will obstruct the work of election officials or to encourage others to engage in such actions will be subject to the same penalties outlined for harassment and intimidation, subject to a forfeit of not less than $300, no more than $1,000. How do you police that?
Well, you see the postings on Facebook or.
But if they're not from this area, do we send our officers to another municipality and say you're in violation of our ordinance?
Well, you know, if you get somebody from out of state, you're not gonna try to track them down. If you get somebody that's relatively local, maybe, if nothing else, it's something on the books that might help dissuade people. Are you gonna prevent it with this? No. But it's a tool.
It's wherever the violation occurs, you have jurisdiction over looking into this.
And I think the election officials appreciate the village board doing something to show their support for them.
And I don't disagree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with the other aspects of it. I'm just trying to understand how you're gonna be able to police social media. That seems like an overreach on our part. As far as in town, in our jurisdiction, people messing with our election officials, I wholeheartedly agree. I just don't agree with, you know, somebody from Osceola saying, you know, you gotta do something like this. Our local ordinances and them coming to this town and dealing with our town issues is more important than the social media aspect of it. That's all I got to say about it.
And I think the intent is, if somebody is messing with one, the intent is if somebody's messing with one of our election officials by social media, they can screenshot it, do whatever, copy paste it, file a report with the police department, and there's an
That's
ordinance
their
now that covers it. And fines. Is there a motion?
Frank Crowe make a motion to approve ordinance amendment section 11-2-13.
Ryan Seacard, second.
Ryan Seacard with second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Thanks for working on it, appreciate it.
Donnie Kern like to make a motion to amend with removal of the D in the, you know, as I believe it's going to be subject to freedom of speech overreach.
Well, did, if we had a motion,
It's an amendment. I'm making a motion to amend it.
Yeah, I think you,
okay,
this was approved, he's making a motion to try to amend what was
Okay.
just approved. Oh,
I'm making a motion to amend the previous motion that was already passed to remove the D, because I believe it's an overreach of the freedom of speech,
You say it would be hard to police.
and it's hard to police.
Yes, I understand that, but I think that's.
Again, it's
probably
just a
the-
motion, it's not, until it's seconded, there's no discussion.
Yeah.
And I see your point, but it's also a, so somebody could, you're saying they can't call them.
The whole,
Harass them in any way, but they could still harass them somehow by social media. I think I'd rather keep it in there, and then if it's something where law enforcement can't do it because it is a freedom of speech, then that's would be under their discretion. their call.
we should get a second, if we're gonna get a second. Before we discuss.
That's where I'm at.
Is there a second? Going once, going twice? Motion presented carries.
Fail for lack of a second.
Well, for
The
amendment.
the amendment. Discussion, possible approval, schedule village board work session regarding village park upgrades and items previously recommended for parks for budgeting purposes.
and this came from the Public Works Committee meeting.
You want to address this?
Yeah, our committee has, put this on as far as trying to ask for a committee, the president to, have a committee of the whole meeting to overlook and oversee our village parks and improvements and discussion as a board before we go into upcoming budget discussions and whether or not we're all in agreement of that, or if it's going to, if we're not gonna be able to find the money, or how we're gonna be able to fund such a thing.
And this is most specifically related to village park improvements. We feel it has been identified on our needs assessment that our number one need is to fix village park. We have a plan that's been provided in 2018. We would like that plan has been sent out to everyone on the board, I believe. To the Public Works, and we would like to really review that plan and go through it and decide whether or not we want to move forward.
I think one point though to bring up on that though is, we also did discuss, because a discussion about pickleball courts at Larry Forest, so there was other things that were out there. Yes, a mainstay is going to be with Village Park, and there's some action about improvements on there, but it'll be all of the parks if we have a committee, the whole meeting, and whether or not we discuss what we're gonna put in for budgeting purposes.
That one was with us like a splash pad or something too.
Well, the whole thing was up for discussion.
Yeah.
At that point in time.
We also need to reevaluate, so there were some really good discussions around ball fields last week at the meeting, and we really need to decide, part of the plan right now is to take those ball fields out. And we really need to have a plan for what we're gonna do with the playing time that's already associated with those fields. So the plan isn't set in stone, so as Bob had said, we can keep the fields there, we can put more fields there, but we really wanna keep the conversation going and driving the conversation to Village Park, but not only Village Park, but parks in general.
Donnie, knowing our upcoming schedule for budgeting, when do you think a good time for a work session would be?
Well, within the next week or two.
Oh, so just a special session
Yeah,
within a week or so?
Yep, that's what we're asking for, is a special committee of the whole session for us as a board. The committee is asking for us as a board to get together to decide whether or not, we're gonna move forward and in what capacity we're gonna move forward for budgeting purposes.
Yeah, and for that, the one thing we'd really suggest is really looking over that 2018 plan that was put forward. Cause I think we're gonna need to make some changes to that. There's 3 phases to it, so I think it's a really great place to jump off. And remember, any costs associated with that plan, it probably went up 50%. It's kind of what
There
we were
was some
thinking.
discussion about that, yeah.
Yeah, 40 to 50 by the time you do something, yeah.
So because we waited, it costed this much more. We should have done it. We'll get it right this
I'm
time.
available Monday, the 23rd, or Thursday, the 26th.
I'll be out of town starting Thursday. Could make the 23rd work. Or the 24th, I guess.
Caleb Garn make a motion to have a special session on Monday, September 23rd at 5:30 PM.
Second,
First and second, any further discussion?
I will not be able to be present, so I'll have to see if one of the other gals can cover, otherwise there won't be anyone here from our perspective.
Any further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
You said that the 23rd, right?
5:30, yeah.
Discussion, possible approval, impact fee needs assessment.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the needs assessment as presented. You want to put forward this has been brought forth in all committees. If you guys want to look at it more. But I'd like to at least get the motion on the table, and then we could discuss it more in after the motion's been.
I was hoping that Chuck presents.
Sorry, a couple things.
Okay,
I mean, is there a motion out there? Or we gotta?
There's no second yet.
We need a second.
Second.
motion made seconded
And the motion was, just for my clarification, I was,
to approve the needs assessment presented.
okay, because I can go over some of the details, but there needs to be a public hearing before official adoption
Of the impact fee.
of the impact fee.
You should be approving the resolution that gets the process.
Yeah, we're just gonna
Yeah.
approve.
What's as presented?
You know,
Okay.
and then this gets filed and we wait 20 days and then we have a public hearing.
So, but
First step tonight.
I think finance was talking about at the November meeting, having that public meeting. So I don't know how much detail you want to get into this. You've been collecting, impact fees since 2001. And it's, primarily to help for new development to pay their share of necessary infrastructure to accommodate them. Your current impact fees have been in place since 2010. This updated those, we revisited. The water impact fee currently is $1,000, for a resident, a new home. The impact fee is currently $1,082. That is to increase to $1,690. The transportation impact fee is currently $141, and that'll be increasing to $993. And a lot of that has to do with how the costs were allocated. We have adjusted the formulas, but certainly at the public information hearing or this evening, I can get into further detail on that. The library impact fee is currently $468. That's gonna go down to $171.35. The police impact fee is currently $192. That's gonna increase to $898.55. We were talking about how, especially building construction in the last 5 years have more or less doubled in costs, as you know, so. And then the fire impact fee is currently $57 for a new REU, and that'll increase to $192.34. So roughly speaking, the current collected impact fee of $1,940 will essentially double to $3,945.24.
For any new residential
Any new residential, correct.
or
And then,
commercial construction would be prorated accordingly.
yeah, accordingly.
This is something that is outdated, well overdue. And I don't see us waiting any longer than we need to get these in place. Any future months that we continue to prolong this is a burden to the taxpayers that I don't want to bear.
Agreed. Before the meeting, Paul said that the Osceola is looking at about a $6,000 price in theirs, and the way the schedule could work out, we could actually get this approved at our next meeting in October.
Great.
So is there a resolution to move forward with them tonight? To bring that forward? Or what's our action tonight?
Next month.
There is a resolution in there.
That's for the corp.
Oh, the corp, okay.
This you just need to essentially adopt it.
The resolution would need to come 7 days prior to us adopting, correct?
Well, it'll be an ordinance amendment that will
Right.
do this.
Okay,
So Paul, you're looking for a motion to advance this to the public hearing phase and
Yeah, just to approve this needs assessment update.
that was the motion,
Yeah.
to approve the needs assessment of it.
That's what we need to do tonight. That's the first step to get the process going. And that's available to the public. Has to be out there for at least 20 days. Then you have a public hearing and then the board can adopt it. So.
First and a second, any further discussion? All in favor?
I,
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Discussion possible approval, resolution 2024-06, adopting the comprehensive outdoor recreation plan 2024 through 2029.
So this was reviewed essentially, and there was a consensus at the last meeting regarding its adoption. This we formalized it with, it needs to be adopted, my understanding, through resolution, and there's a resolution in your packet.
make a motion to approve the resolution 2024-06, adopting a comprehensive outdoor recreational plan for 2024-2029.
Second.
First and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Discussion, possible approval, village seal and flags. We're not kind of discuss this, and right now we don't really have a seal. So we had talked about maybe do we want to try to put out some kind of a contest for somebody to come up with a seal? Do we want a seal? What are your guys' thoughts?
Make a motion to table for the time being. Until we have, we got a painting that's going on now with our water tower here in the next, let's figure out what we're gonna look like as far as our branding and stuff before we go forward with that, and then we'll be happy to look at a seal at that point in time.
Brandon Crum, second. First and second, further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Discussion, possible approval, update of landowner complaints in River Hills, Aspen Drive drainage. For Chuck.
Yeah, I can take this. So we sent a letter out to all the residents on Aspen Drive, just making sure everybody was aware of what was going on, because we didn't contact and communicate with everybody. We allowed them last Friday to respond or comment back to that. They didn't. I received one that just was static on, I don't want you, impacting my yard. So the plan that we have established now, we'll move forward. The conversation with the contractor and excavator to come in, that work's expected to start in October. And it will be about 2 weeks for that work to be done pending with good weather. So
will it only affect the people that want their yards affected?
yes.
Tasia, as a land owner of their, off of the village staff here, what are your thoughts on this?
I am happy to move forward based on the expertise that they've given us with the plan. I'm not an engineer, and if the results work, great. If it doesn't, we still haven't been given any sort of assurance, and I don't know that we're gonna get it. But at this point, it's really bad, so I'd like to see something happening yet this fall, so we can move forward.
So it's satisfactory with you is what they came up with.
Mhm.
Great.
So by October meeting, I think we'll have a pretty good idea whether or not, we're gonna have a finalization to that as far as, okay, seatings will be down by that time pending good weather.
That's the expectation.
Do we need to, okay, we don't need to approve anything there.
Frank, I'll make a motion to go to closed session.
Second.
First and a second. That was quick.
Who made the second?
Okay, Brandon, I'll make a motion to go to closed session, convene into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Stats 19.851E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, invest in the public funds, or conducting other specified public business.
Thank you, ladies.
For competitive or bargaining reasons required, closed session, land purchase and economic development update.
Second.
Roll call, Caleb.
Aye, Caleb Garn.
Chairman, discussion first before you make a roll call.
Discussion.
Roll call is just to go into closed session.
Right, but you have discussion before you go into a roll call vote.
Is there any discussion on the motion for the second?
No. Okay, just wanna, I don't know, if anybody else up there.
Roll call, Donnie.
Aye.
Mr. Beck, aye.
Brandon Cronin.
Myself, yes.
Chris Marino, aye.
Ryan Seagard, aye.
We are convening closed session at 6:27 PM.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Caleb Garn,
Aye.
Aye.
Brandon Cronin.
Myself, yes.
Chris Marino, aye.
Ryan Seagard, aye.
And we are adjourned at 7:15 PM.